My project is a spline resource I created in my own engine. This spline lets you animate objects along it like this car and also create meshes across it like this roller coaster track. Using the UI, the program lets you choose which spline you're currently working on by entering its name. So this is spline 1, for example. I'm going to create spline 10. This doesn't actually exist yet, so it will create an empty spline template for me. From here, I can then choose to add or remove nodes. So for example, I will add a node to the end here. There we are. I will then choose to remove that. So let's remove that node. And then if I choose to click make a loop, it will make the spline a complete loop like so. You can then add other types of nodes. So for example, let me make this a bit bigger. So for example, I can choose to add a roll node. This will add banking to the track. So you can see a person here. This shows where it will tilt. So I can choose to tilt like this. And then I will add another roll node and I will tilt it this way. And then a booster here, as you can see, I can choose how much of the track is a booster, and this will set a minimum speed for an animated model along the track. So if you have physics implemented, you can set a minimum speed. I will now generate a mesh, and as you can see here, the banking is here, the track bends and it banks to where these people are, like so. So now having removed some nodes, so it's no longer a circle, I can choose to clamp the spline. This will lock its start and end point to the first and last control point. I can then, if I want to add another one, we'll say that is 20 for now so we can see it. There we go. I can now change the degree of the spline. So for example, if I want to make the spline more rugged, now it's linear because it's first degree. I can implement it like this. If I implement it too much where there's not enough nodes, it will lock off a lot of the options. So I will decrease that again. You can then, if I now reintroduce the animated object, so I can change this into step mode. This will just move the object along the spline at a constant speed, which you can change or move around like this. And I can then also set it to physics mode, which I'll change the spline first so you can see it better. So now the object is in physics mode, so as you can see it does physics along. I can change its physics value, like its mass and drag. I've currently got a booster on the spline that sets a minimum speed so it will never stop moving and like valley down the bottom, but you'll see as it gets to the top of this hill here, it will speed up with gravity. So you can make stuff like roller coasters, for example. The program also gives you a ton of options on what you want to see, so you can choose whether you want to see nodes, if you want them connected, if you want to see the spline itself. You can turn all this on and off. You'll also see here, so for example, if you look at these roll meshes, there is a ton of stuff in here where it will highlight the one you've currently got selected. So you'll see, it shows you the one I've currently got selected. So as you can see here, you can map a object along the spline, so in this case some roller coaster track. Now this takes a template object, which you can list the location of here, and then we'll map that along the spline. So for example, if I want to rotate it 90 degrees, I can. It will load. It's multi-threaded, so it's very quick. It auto configs to whatever machine the program's running on. So as you can see here, it's now done the track sideways, so it is like that. Also in settings here, you can change how accurate you want, you can change the scale of the spline, you can change how accurate you want the spline, you can change if you want some offset on the spline. So I will demo here with this. So if I load this again, this time I have loaded a different one, it's a bit bigger, and as you can see it also handles textures and everything else. You can also choose to generate a more detailed version of this spline, which will have no holes in the meshes and it is as accurate as possible. Well, the models generate .objs, again with all the textures and everything. Here you can choose where you want it to generate this, and you can then load this in other programs such as Blender or Unity. So here's one of the meshes I imported into Blender, and you can see everything's good and there are no holes and all the normals and everything are correct as well.